everybody, and welcome to Your Voice Talk Show, our interactive platform where your voice matters. My name is Sonia Graham. If you're tuning in for the first time, author of It's Time to Uncover Your Original Blueprint 10 Steps to Rediscover the Real You and Your Purpose. And that book can actually be found online at Target.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and Amazon.com. So, if you've been fortunate to be tuning in for the last few shows, you know we're talking about generational wealth. And so, before we go any further, today's topic is going to be part three of our series, and we're going to be talking about federal contracts. So, we want to bring on our guru for generational wealth, which is Miss Rosalind Whitley. Hi, Rosalind. How are you today? Okay, we can't. Got your mic off there.
You hear me now?
Now we hear you.
Yes. Hi. How you doing? How are you?
I'm doing fine. So I want to go ahead and tell these people a little bit about you so they can understand why you're we call you a generational wealth guru. So Rosalind is the owner of P is for Planning LLC, where they promote generational wealth. And she's been doing that for like the last 5 years, but she's been an entrepreneur for 8 years where has worked with profit and not-for-profit businesses, providing strategic partnerships and planning for Fortune 500 companies. So, in that time, she has designed and developed a business toolbox and all kinds of resources that she's here sharing with us. So, we're super excited. Welcome to Your Voice Talk Show again, Rosalind.
Hi. How you? Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to be here. So, I want to start by people kind of just level setting how it came to be that you chose this path on educating entrepreneurs on all of, as we call, OMP, which was OPM, right?
Yes. OPM.
Other people's money.
Yes.
So, can you tell us a little bit, give us a background, a little bit about you and how you came to start delivering this amazing information?
Yes. So, I became a city worker. Worked for the state of New York as a paralegal. Pretty much was coming to work, working a typical 8 to 4 job. Um, you know, working for people who just were bosses, and sharing ideas. And then eventually I just decided, you know what, I have so much to do, so much to offer. I'm too creative. I need to be my own boss, set my own hours, enjoy what I do. So I started to pretty much become my own boss and became an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
Originally, I was offering services to just be able to help entrepreneurs establish their business, so pretty much startup companies. And then eventually it moved on to funding opportunities and funding businesses in general. And then eventually, it was business credit, and then it became federal contracts. Something that I am familiar with because of my original job. So I became the contractor, and then I just saw how lucrative it was to be your own boss. So I decided to also help others do the same thing.
That is awesome. And there's you really have, with all these series, we've really kind of we've broken it up on all the different things and ways, where so many of us have been business owners for years and we're just putting our own money into our businesses and just operating at what we see in our hands, where you've enlightened us that there's so many things and ways to get the resources. Yes, please make sure you guys know this is an interactive show. So please join the conversation and add your questions in the comments, or you can also text your questions at 832-714-8205. This is an interactive platform, a chance to get your questions answered and to be heard. We want you guys to be a part of the conversation. So, yes, please do tune in and take advantage of being a part of it. So, generational wealth part three, we're talking about federal contracts. So, tell us, Rosalind, what is the first thing that we should know about federal contracts as a small business or a business owner?
That anyone can actually get a federal contract and work with the government. Federal contracts are pretty much contracts that you can pretty much enter or bid for with the state of, with the United States, in which you're being paid to, or you want to be paid to pretty much provide services and goods to the United States. Any type of industry can do it. It's just, as we discussed our last meeting, if you are certified, if you have that resume and you're in it to win it, you can definitely get a federal contract.
I love it. In it to win it. And we have some resources there that are being shown on the screen there.
Yes.
So
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So with the resources that's being shown, you want to be able to utilize SAM.gov, SBA.gov, and USAspending.gov.
Okay. All right. And so then, does it cost to apply for a contract?
No, it's totally free. Pretty much you want to utilize USAspending.gov to be able to see what your state is offering or what the government's offering in your industry. You want to be able to access SAMS.gov as well to be able to get a UEI, an NAICS code, and a CAGE code. And then you want to be able to utilize SBA.gov to be certified in women-owned business, minority-owned business, 8A program, Hub Zone program. If you are a veteran-owned business, you become certified in that as well. Or if you are in economic disadvantage, you can definitely do that as well.
Okay. And so then I guess a question has come up in the previous shows in general. Does your income or your earnings as a company determine if you can participate or qualify for a contract?
It depends on a contractor, but normally no. Federal contracts are catered to startup companies as well, as long as you actually boost that business resume of yours. So definitely, I would definitely recommend, again, the certifications, doing things in your community. If you are in a chamber of commerce, in your state or your city, you can definitely do things like that. You can actually showcase that you are a well-known or somewhat well-known entrepreneur in your city or state.
And I understand that with some contracts you have you have to have certain policies, errors and omissions, and different things like that in order to I guess to guarantee your level of service or protection. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
So with that, pretty much what happens is that when you submit federal contracts, there's something called a capability statement. The capability statement is pretty much that 1 or 2 page resume that will boost the appeal to the contractor. So anything that is about your business, you definitely want to be able to put on that resume. Anything that's positive, nothing negative, anything that's positive. You want to be able to showcase your skills as an entrepreneur and in your industry.
Okay. And then so for example, say it's a $1 million contract. Do you have to have like $1 million insurance to have that contract? Are there cases like that?
Well, all businesses should have business insurance. To be honest, you should at least have $1 million depending on your industry, but all industries should have business insurance regardless. Not only protects you, but it protects your business. So that's definitely recommended regardless if you're doing federal contracts or grants or business funding or seeking business funding. Every type of sole proprietorship, LLC, corporation, LLP should definitely have business insurance.
So that was really good. It came up. So that's another way to level up your business on
Yes.
how you represent your business is make sure that you are covered with some
Yes.
insurance. Yeah, that's good to know because I know a lot of people they don't think they need it, but somebody could trip coming in your door if you have a place of
Yes.
business. Not to mention fires happen and other things, but it's just it's a better look to be able to say we're insured as well too. Like you said, now this is a whole nother reason to know that you need some insurance to protect and your business. So that's a really good thing. So as far as a contract goes, there's like is it like a bid? Is it the same thing like you're bidding on it? And they actually say, is it RFP, request for proposal type of thing? Is that the same for a federal contract?
Yes. Yes, that's actually the next step. So you want to be able to submit a capability statement to entice the contractor. And then eventually you want to go into the RFPs and the bidding war. I call it the bidding war because it's like a war.
That's what it is.
But, yes, so you want to be able to bid on the contracts, which you'll be able to do when you go on websites like SAMS.gov and USA Spending and actually see the contracts and the stages of it. But the capability statement is just the step one of everything. You want to be able to view it, find a contract you want, and actually showcase your skills. I do see that Miss Paulette Jackson has asked me to pretty much explain well known. So when it comes down to your business being well known, I'm not sitting there saying that everyone has to know your business. What I'm sitting there saying is that your business has to be where if they Google you, is legitimate. You're marketing yourself because they're going to search for you. They're going to make sure that you're a legitimate business because of the type of money that's out there for federal contracting.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So they want to make sure you're a viable business.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then so what will be the next step? So I go on to one of the websites and I find one I'm interested in. I work on that capability statement. And then
Yes.
what's my next step from there?
So your next step is, well, before you work on a capability statement, and I'm super organized. I always write everything on paper. You want to make sure that you actually research the contractor to see that you are a good fit. Even though they tell you exactly what they're looking for, and it may appeal to you, but maybe the industry doesn't appeal to you. What they're looking for might appeal, but the industry that is coming from might not appeal to you. So you definitely want to be able to research the contractor that's asking for, the contract that they're looking for a contractor. Again, what I would definitely say is you want to get certified. A lot of businesses are not certified because they just don't know how to be. So I'm stressing the term being certified. Being certified within the government, which is the 6 programs that I mentioned. Being certified within your state. Certain states have their own certification process. Anything that will be able to boost your business resume is perfect. Capability statements is pretty much anything that you have done in the past you can write. So if you have merits, if you have any type of certifications, if you have awards, if you've done anything that's like fundraising or sponsoring, anything that will appeal to that contractor is what you need to get done. Once that capability statement happens, you have to be able to submit it. Then if you hear something, you want to be able to do an RFP, which is the proposal. And then if they are interested with that proposal, then you want to be able to do that bidding, in which you can actually negotiate exactly what you're looking for and exactly what the contractor is willing to give. So that's pretty much the steps of everything.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. So then basically you're kind of interviewing each other to make sure it's a good fit in some ways.
Yes.
You're making sure that all the criteria that they're asking for, number one, it's one that you can meet and that you're okay with. And at those points that you may not be, those will be open for negotiation. So then that's, I guess my next question is, just because they request something doesn't mean you have to agree to everything. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I am definitely saying that. So if they are requesting something, let's say that 99% of what they're requesting, 95% of what they're requesting actually fits your business. And that remaining 5% does not. There's a different way that you can go about it, and it's something that you can actually do, but you have not done with your business. You can actually fight to appeal to that. You can negotiate that as meaning, hey, I do this, but you're calling it this. But if I do it this way, would that be okay? And then obviously provide proof that that's something that you do, because at the end of the day, you definitely don't want to play with the federal government. So that's just the truth. But, because they will, it's like a job in a sense, a really, really lucrative job. But what happens is that, you can actually get fired or get replaced from that contract. And that's something that you do not want to do, because that's something that will show. And then it kind of makes it harder to get the next contract.
Yeah, that makes sense. Again, everybody, please join in the conversation and add any questions in the comment area, or you can actually text in your questions as well to the number that's going to be on the screen there. But any questions, there's no bad question, silly question. This is what we're here for, is to get this information so you can qualify and apply for these federal contracts. The text number is 832. And it just flipped out the screen. So when it comes up there, 832-714-8205. And then you can get more information, and you can actually reach Rosalind at pisforplanning.com. And her email is hello@pisforplanning.com as well. And we'll give you guys more of that information at the end on some more information and some ways to reach her and things that she's going to be offering. So, Rosalind, if can you give us an idea, like when you some of the people you've worked with in the past for contracts, what industries? I think that's a big thing. I was talking to a friend today, and she was saying that she's a service type business, and as grants are, she didn't feel like they meet a lot of criteria. So, is there certain industries that are better than others as far as for contracts, for federal contracts?
Um, yes and no. It's kind of that gray area. Like I stated, any industry can get a federal contract. Little fun fact, when COVID happened, a lot of people were just getting contracts just for selling hand sanitizer and masks and gloves and everything like that. And it was just getting six-figure contracts at that. And it was just one single item that they sold. It didn't have to be all three that I mentioned, but just one single item. They was giving out government contracts just for that.
Wow.
But I've worked with construction, I've worked with real estate, I've worked with janitorial businesses and cleaning businesses in general. I've done security. I've pretty much done every type of industry that you can think of with federal contracts. I
Mhm.
will definitely stress that it is, and I always say, I have two things that I normally say. I talk about be in it to win it and plan to win. Because that's pretty much what happens with life in general. When you wake up, you have to be in it to win it to be able to make it through the day, and you have to plan to win to be able to be successful. Um, being doing federal contracts and everything that we mentioned in the past with grants and business credit and business funding, you have to be in it because it's something that you have to work towards, you have to work on. It's not something that's just given to you. You have to work hard for it.
Right.
So I would definitely say that's what it is. I've done telecommunications. I've actually done I've done media federal contracts, and I've done art recently with federal contracts as
Really?
well, mainly with the museum. So that was pretty interesting. That was pretty fun. Um, I've done import and export with federal contracts as well. So like I said, any type of industry can get federal contracts. It's how you word it. Sometimes, if a client really wanted a federal contract bad enough, I would definitely sit there and audit their entire business to see if there's anything that I could bring out of their business that would appeal to the contractor. Because, like I said, it's just something that has to be done. Something so simple, like, and I keep mentioning this because when I tell you during COVID, it was six-figure business everywhere. Something as simple as math, people are actually looking for. Vending machines also, actually, you can get government federal contracts as well, in which you would actually put your vending machine in hospitals.
Wow.
So
Gotcha.
it's
So, is
money
it
out
safe? Is it safe to say you could visit those sites to get an idea of what those are, to even see
there.
what
Yes,
you can do, and to kind of do your homework backwards a little bit to say, what contracts are out there?
yes. So the two websites that I mentioned for sure in free resources were usspending.gov and and SAMS.gov. Those are the two main websites that you can actually view federal contracts that are available, whether in the past or in the present or even in the future. Uh, Brand new year is coming soon, so they are starting to show 2023 contracts that are available with the closing date. So you can definitely start working towards next year, and as well as actually work towards the next month and a half as well.
Gotcha. So all of them haven't. They're not necessarily set up on like the government fiscal year or anything like that.
No, they're not. Some of them depending on how the contractor actually puts their application out, but normally it goes by the fiscal year. So if you go on a website like usaspending.gov, you can research the last 20 years of what your state has actually done with federal contracts. And you can even view grants that your state has issued out and loans that your state has issued out. So if you go to federal contract route, you can actually see exactly how much your state has spent on contracts in the past. And this is within the last 20 years.
Yeah, all that information is public, right?
Yes, it's public. You don't need
Yes,
to
ma'am,
sign
it's
it. You don't
public.
need
No
anything like
secrets
that.
there.
You could just go to Google or type in usspending.gov and then be able to just search it yourself.
Okay. And then I know we talked about, the possibility of having someone help you obtain in the previous show the grants. So then this is something that you can also help people do as well too, is to obtain contracts. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Right.
Pretty much as a federal contractor myself, that's something that I can definitely give you the experience on and how to go about it. For me, I've just been able to, as long as me and you will be at war, bidding war together, representing your company. So definitely, that's something that I would definitely stress on. The bidding process
Mhm.
is really, really tedious, but again, you have to be in it to win it. And sometimes it might not work out your way. But you know what? If it doesn't, you just go back in. You can always reapply for the contract. If you hear, let's say, no, or maybe you can reconstruct your business to a fist to the next contractor. There's always opportunities for you.
Right. That's true. Somebody has a question that says, "Does your company size impact being a recipient for a federal contract?"
No. So you can be a one person entrepreneur or company, or it can be, have 50 I'm sorry, 50 people in your company. It doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily matter. They want to make sure that your company actually can give them, the contractor, what they need. So as long as you are able to sit there and fulfill the contract, then it should not matter at all.
Right. I was just thinking about how you're talking about it's very important to get certified, get your company certified. Another benefit of being certified, sometimes a company can be awarded a contract that says you have to do X amount of dollars with these certified type businesses.
Hmm.
So you may not get that direct contract, but you may get a sub, be able to be a sub contractor on it because the government is telling them they have to spend X amount of that contract on MBEs and so forth in order to qualify for that contract. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes. So, fun fact, when you're certified, and this, I definitely want to put that. Fun fact is, when you're certified, every year the president or whoever's in office has to set aside trillions of dollars to be able to actually give contracts to those certifications to the company that's certified. So if you are a minority-owned woman business, a minority-owned business, if you're an 8A program,
Mhm.
hub zone program, any type of program that I mentioned, whether it's again government or state, they have to be able to actually spend that money on the contracts that's being
Yes.
built. So in this year alone, $150 billion has been actually spent on government contracts throughout the entire United States. Contracts that a lot of companies have had, the amount of companies that have had contracts has been up to 7,000 companies so far. And it's just being certified. So pretty much to answer your question, to get certified is to just um, be able to access that funding, whether it's
Mhm.
the prime contract or the subcontract. So
Yes.
it pretty much doubles your way of getting that funding that you're seeking. One
Absolutely.
contract can definitely be worth six figures, can turn you to a six-figure company if you get the right contract. And just one client can give you that six figures. That one client is the government. So, and you are a subcontractor, you do a subcontract, and you're actually getting at least half or at least three-fourths of it. So it still puts you
Yeah.
towards it as well. And you can get as many contracts as you would like. You're not limited to one, unless the contract says, conflict of interest, but it's very rare that actually happens. But yeah, you can definitely get as many contracts as you would like.
That's awesome. That's good news.
Yes,
That's good news. And one of the things that you just said is that just that one contract could change the trajectory of your whole business.
yes,
And so that goes back to we were talking about generational wealth is that it's not just servicing people that are in your local area or looking at your business at one, I guess, just straight ahead. You got to look in a bigger picture. And
yes,
that's what this whole series, and I'm very happy to say we've been able to share a lot of different things that people may not have thought about or think they even qualify for. The main thing is the information, and so the information that you have shared with us in this whole series thus far has been so priceless. And I know I've learned a lot, and so many things I'm currently working on because in now going forward, I plan to use that to take my businesses to the next level. There's no, you can't. They say there's no such thing as a business failing as long as you keep trying. But at the same time, let's try all our resources,
yes,
especially now that we know that we have access to some of these things that we can qualify for.
yes. I cannot definitely stress enough how there's tools out there. There's ways that you can be super successful. It's just, again, being able to access it and being able to plan to win it. Um, I wish there was an easy way to do certain things, to build a generational wealth, to be that multimillionaire, to wake up as the successful entrepreneur. But you have to plan to win. And the most important thing I always stress, and I think my clients are tired of me about it, is being certified.
Yes,
Certifications, again, it opens up so many different opportunities for you. As soon as you are certified in anything that I mentioned, any type of certified program I mentioned, you will start to get emails about contracts that's available for you, marketing tools that's available. You'll start to get funding opportunities that's available, and even fun facts. But being certified just opens up a window for you that you just has no type of ceiling or anything that you can just.
that's awesome. That is awesome. I love that. There is hope.
There's
There's more, but it takes energy and
yeah,
it takes to be in it to win it. I
yeah,
love how you keep saying that. Got to be in it. And you know what? If you're an entrepreneur, you have to be. Because at the end of the day, when you go to bed, all those things and concerns about your business are on your mind. And when you wake up, it's the same. So it's not like when you go to a job, you work and then you go home. So
yeah.
then why not try to give yourself all the resources you can to maybe take the load off of some of those areas or make it easier for you to go to the next level? Because I know some amazing entrepreneurs that have been in business for years, but have not leveraged these tools.
Yeah.
And so just think now what they'll be able to do with their businesses. We have a question. How can we motivate our families on the importance of generational wealth, especially in our communities?
That's a very good question. So I would definitely say for me, and I'll just use myself as an example and how I stress generational wealth. I think about for me when I wake up in the morning, my child and then my child's child and what I'm leaving behind as a legacy for me and my family. So for me, that's what I would say will motivate. The one thing you would definitely want to do if you have children is you want to be able to, and I would just take it a step further. Don't give them the decision. Let them see what the decision you made actually has an impact on them. Meaning that if you have kids, make them employees for your job. Let them get the 12,000, to 12,500 dollars free, tax free, and then be able to see exactly what it is to be an entrepreneur and
Mhm.
actually build or create wealth for themselves. So therefore, when they're 18 or when they're 21, they actually have six figures or $1 million, depending on how big your industry is.
True.
I would definitely say you can motivate them, but when you have kids and the generational wealth that goes with, I would not give them the opportunity to act, to pretty much think about it. I would actually just create it for them. Because to be honest, I would have to be a leader. I have to show them. I have to represent them as well as they're representing me. That's my child. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to create something for them. So I have to be able to put that in perspective. So I will make the decision as a leader to make sure that I'm doing what's right for them, and then they'll be able to see the hard work that I've done and be able to pass it on to them, to their kids.
Yeah, leading by example. That's awesome. You know, and that's in our community. That's important because um, we have so many skeptics, and in the community, people think, for example, when we're entrepreneurs, we're not seen at the same level as our counterparts, where we can be doing business with multi-million-dollar companies and have multi-million-dollar contracts as well. But for some reason, our community, it's not. It doesn't look like it's the same value, and that's something we have to work on as a community and understand that value is value. If I run a reputable business, it doesn't matter what color my skin is, and
Mhm.
it doesn't. If I have the wherewithal, I have the education, it's just the knowledge to put a business together to run it successfully and market to anybody. Then it has nothing to do with the color of your skin, and you should know that they too can do that. And that's where they think, well, no, it's safe to go work for somebody, and that's for anybody. You know that's a guaranteed check. And as an entrepreneur, there are a lot of risks that you do take, but
Yes.
I'll tell you, it's very rewarding as well too. Because at the end of the day, you always know the bottom line. And say, for example, you have something that's coming up, and you'll know, okay, well, this contract has to last me to X amount of time. Where the other part of that is if you work for a company, you're thinking everything's going good, and next thing you know, you might be invited into the boardroom, and that might be your last day. So the upper hand you have as an entrepreneur, you always know the bottom line,
Yes.
and you always appreciate your effort, your hard work.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when we work jobs, sometimes that doesn't happen because they feel like you should be happy you have a job. So you know, we don't have to do these extra things, but uh, nothing's wrong with working a job. But as an entrepreneur, for me, I feel it's very rewarding. As a mother, I was able to, you know, go to all my kids' activities. I never had to make any excuses or, you know, any of those things. So it gives you flexibility, but you do work harder and sometimes longer. So I would say that it's important that we know that we too can be successful and have businesses serving multi-million dollar companies and being a multi-million dollar company ourselves. And
Yes.
so that's a mindset I pray that we all work on as a community and understand that we are amazing and we can do just about anything we put our mind to, but we have to believe that and we have to do it and support one another, you
Yes.
know, and support our businesses in our community. You know, if you spend your money wisely, but however, don't look at a person and say, I don't do business with that race or whatever because of this experience, because that's a business. That's one business, two business, whatever. There's still so many more. So I think we need to be more open minded with how we conduct business and who we conduct our business with, and value the business owners, entrepreneurs we have in our communities.
And to add to that, that is actually one of the benefits of getting in contract with the government. Flexibility, you know, certain contracts are easy to get. You have, you know, it opens up one contract and open up a door, multiple doors for you. Um, Contracts can last anywhere between 3 to 5 years, depending. You can have just a single year contract, or you can actually have that one client for 5 years. You know, the average contract for any type of industry is about 95,000. So if you have, and this is a year, so if you have a 3 year contract with someone, you can potentially automatically make more than half. I'm sorry, one fourth of $1 million, and
Wow.
actually be able to, again, that can actually assist you with getting the generational wealth that you need. So I mean, there's opportunities out there. Definitely, federal contracts is the way to go if you are seeking flexibility, and if you do want to if you do want to choose exactly who you want to work with as far as the contract is concerned, not because of the color of the skin, but the contract you want to work with, or you know, just in general, like you have choices, and it's just again, one
Mhm.
client can actually change your life.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And then I think we have to the resources. Are there resources out there? Okay, I know the websites, but as far as like you talk about the capabilities thing and how to formulate putting something like that together. Are there resources that help us do that as well too?
Yes, the SBA.gov. So
Okay.
SBA.gov is a government website for any type of industry, any type of business. It helps you with grants. It helps you with federal contracts. It helps you with anything that is passed through legislation. Anything that you need as far as your business plans, grant proposals, anything can be found on SBA.gov. What happens is SBA.gov gives you the tools. It gives you exactly what is out there for your business, and then in order to be able to obtain it, then you want to be able to sign up for things like stamps.gov and Dun and Bradstreet, which is something that you do also need in order to become basically to get federal contract. You need a DUNS number for sure. But stamps.gov and Dun and Bradstreet is pretty much something that you also will need after you do your research with SBA.gov, and then you want to utilize USAspending.gov to be able to not only find the contracts, but be able to see exactly what you should be bidding for and how much your industry is worth. So use that as a tool. So those three websites that I mentioned, and not including the Dun and Bradstreet website, which is where you obtain your DUNS number, which every industry, as I stated before, every company should definitely have a DUNS number, especially if they want to build business credit. Those are the four websites that you will need to utilize in order to, be able to obtain the funding that you need, whether it's contracts, whether it's grants, whether it's business funding, or whether it's business credit.
Gotcha. And then there was a question that was up. Paulette wanted to know is that if there's a particular website or place that you can go to see all the certifications that are available per state.
So there is not a particular website. You would just have to go to your state's website. But for the government certifications that I mentioned, which is the woman-owned business, minority woman-owned business, the 8A program, the veteran-owned business program, and the Hub Zone program, that can be found and done through SBA.gov.
Yeah, thank you, Paulette, for that question. That's a really good question as well too. So we have our resources. Can you tell us a little bit? We've got a question there. I'll let you read that one, Rosalind.
Families work hard to create generational wealth, but when the leaders pass, oftentimes there's a massive fight among family members, etc. How can that be avoided? How important is wills and documents of last wishes? Oh, okay. Love this question. That's a very good question. So let's just break this down. How can it be avoided? For me personally, I mean, if I use myself for example, um, you're right. There's always massive fights when it comes down to family and money. I hate
Mhm.
to say it, but it's actually true. How can it be avoided? Normally, you want to be able to, when you establish a business, there's something called bylaws or operating agreements. You can always recreate it. But let's say at the time you are entrepreneur and you don't have any kids, it's
Mhm.
just yourself. Obviously, you're a single member LLC. You didn't actually put down that you have members on your in your business. It's just pretty much one person that's managing it. You can actually change an operating agreement. So if you wanted to include your children or you wanted to family members, they actually have a say so with your business. So the operating agreement is super important in anything. It actually, if if everyone should know, when you open a business bank account, you need an operating agreement slash bylaws because everything is named differently.
Mhm.
So that's why I put bylaws operating agreement. You need your EIN number and you need your LLC paperwork. So that operating agreement can actually help you avoid any type of fight because you actually put it on paper that this is exactly how you want to run your business. So let's say you have 4 kids. You want 25. You put that 25% that each child owns 25% of a
Mhm.
business, and then the final say will be on you, or let's say your wife, or anyone that's a vice president or president or anything like that. But your kids will have some sort of a say. You can actually use your operating agreement also to be able to dissolve your company or actually
Yes.
divide the money that your business has made. In case, let's say, God forbid, something has happened to you, that operating agreement can be in place automatically, and that's something that you definitely need to get done or redone. If things do happen, like having more children, and that you actually want to have your business with your children involved, and that's also how you create generational wealth. The importance of wills and documentation being again the operating agreement that I stated is super important. Everyone should have a will again to not only avoid fights, but to be able to protect that generational wealth that you have actually
Mhm.
um, wanted to or aspire to get. Uh, so wills and documentations, and again, the documentation being the operating agreement, that's the main one. Those will actually protect um, the generational wealth that is coming towards your business, or I'm sorry, coming towards your family due to your business. So that's super important. You can always update your operating agreement. You know, change it so that it takes care of everyone. That's the main thing you want to do. It's just the operating agreement. Operating agreement will definitely be able to avoid as much fights as possible. Can you avoid fights? No, unfortunately you can't because it's gonna be something like, oh, then why did dad give me like 30% and I only got 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
If someone's always gonna get upset, you just can't think about it. You just gotta think about you still wanted to achieve that goal, which was the generational wealth that you want to provide for your family.
Right. It's true. Money is just one of those things that
That
it,
you
it
cannot avoid. But
create some division. Okay, Paulette. Actually, I would like to know if there's a certification that covers you in multiple states. Is what? Oh, that's what she was asking.
yes. So
So one certification cover you in every state.
all the government certifications that I mentioned that's on SBA that you have to get through SBA, which is the 8A program, the SBA, the woman-owned business program, the minority-owned business program, the Hub Zone program, the 8A program, the veteran-owned business program. Those are the ones that cover multiple states. So anything that's actually all the certifications that's listed on SBA.gov is the ones that are that cover multiple states.
Gotcha. Thank you for that clarification, Paulette. Sorry about that. All right. So this is, one of the things you kind of mentioned some things that we hadn't even thought about, but insurance.
Yeah.
There's so many things that come up being an entrepreneur that we really don't think about, and people that have gone from doing a DBA to LLC. So there's so many components to just structuring your business, and that kind of goes back to our very first part was a business credit. The structure is so important on your business period, making sure that you know you can do your business like a mom and pop business, but you can't take advantage of all the things that will take your business to another level. So even though that's doing taxes, we talked about that. You not doing taxes makes it where you don't have the opportunity to participate in a lot of things. So are you really saving money? Not really. So
That's
doing
actually,
business the right way has a lot of benefits, and
yeah.
structure is so important. Can you tell them a little bit about your tools that you have for the business in a box, and let's talk about some of the ways that you can help them with some of the things we've discussed in these last three series?
Yes. So the business in a box is something that I created in which is super personalized for any type of business, specifically your business. So it's not something that's generic, but I actually spend the time researching everything that's specifically for you. I'll have that one-on-one call with you if there's something that you are needing. In case in point, like an operating agreement, or for me to review your business structure and how you structured it, or if you're actually interested in restructuring it properly, where you have a trust or a holding company, or anything like that. That is something that I actually give you tools for. If you're interested in building business credit, I give you tools for that and how you can actually obtain that goal that you're specifically asking for. So if you're saying, "Hi, Rosalind, I am needing $100,000 in the next 6 months, and I want to be able to use business credit and not my personal credit," then I will actually give you tools on how to obtain that. If you're interested in federal contracts, I will actually search federal contracts for you on your behalf and be able to, give you the tools that's needed, to be able to do the cultivated statement properly, or your RFPs properly. Any type of template that you may need, I definitely will assist you for that. So it's the business in the box is specifically designed for you to be able to obtain the generational wealth that you are seeking.
Okay, that's awesome. And then what I love about, and when I first was looking for an expert for these topics, after talking to Rosalind, it evolved into so much more because there's so much I didn't know about, and so I knew that if I don't know, there's so many people that may not know as well. And so let's go ahead and make this a series, and give them nuggets, because it's too much information to obtain in one sitting. And even what we talked about each show, we've had three series now. The first show we talked about business credit, then we talked about business grants, and now we're talking about federal contracts. And she's just skimming the surface, giving us the basic information. But as you can see, there's so much more, and there's so many more details that can evolve from all these topics. And so please make sure to get a better understanding. Go back and watch the shows that you may have missed, replay them, get your pencil and get your paper out, make your notes. And by all means, please visit Rosalind at pisforplanning.com, or email her and just, at hello@p@planning.com, and let her analyze your business personally. You can get that business in the box, and she's been gracious to give the show viewers a discount. And here's our discount code. The discount promo code is YV Health Wealth, which stands for Your Voice Wealth. That's your promo code for any of the topics, any of the things you've seen in the last three series, and for all her products on her website. So please make sure that you understand that even though she's giving us general information, that what sets her apart from me, from other businesses, she don't just give you the details and say, "Oh yeah, go do this and that." When you talk to her, she's going to make sure that she analyzes your business and gives you tools that you can be successful and actually end up with something in your hands instead of just a lot more information. Because some of us just don't have the ability, we can hear it, but we really want to just give it to an expert like you, Rosalind, and say, hey, can you help me with this? And so I'm thankful that you are a business that's not, you created a solution, but you're also tailoring the solution to each individual in their business. And I think that's a lot. That's incredible that you take the time to do that, because just to do your own business and to hone in on what one person needs, but for you to do that for many businesses, I think that's a amazing. That's a priceless value that you're going to get in your business in the box, as well as your other tools that you have
Thank
there.
you. Thank you so much.
Do,
So,
is there anything that you would like to, if I've missed some questions or something that you want to make sure that on this topic that you leave behind for people to research or look into or understand, please go ahead and share that information with us.
yes. So again, as I stated, SBA.gov, that website is anything for anything you need for your business as far as funding, um, federal contracts, certifications. You definitely want to utilize SBA.gov. Anything
Mhm.
that President Biden has put into law, any type of grants that's available for you, SBA.gov will have it. Stamps.gov is also the starting point for anything that you would definitely want to be able to start with. So if you are needing your certifications, you want to be able to access that UEI number, that cage code through Stamps.gov. You definitely want to be able to also, if you have, do research on the NAICS code that you have decided for your business to make sure it's not high risk for anything, because high risk will definitely be able to um, kind of stop you from getting the funding that you need. I'm sorry, hold on.
Can you give an example?
Um, I'm sorry. So, um, something that's high risk is anything that is, well, high risk can be within your business name or within the NAICS code that you use. So let's say if you're using something, if your business name has the word trucking or real estate in it, that's considered high risk. If
Mhm.
you are using a, a general, and not general, but if you're using an NAICS code that's specifically for that industry, and something that's not other or anything like that, then that's actually deemed as high risk. Real estate, the term real estate, or just again the term trucking, or the term, that's the only thing that come to mind right now is trucking and real estate. If you have those type of names in your business, for sure, you definitely want to be able to try not to change the name, but definitely change the NAICS code. Because it's a lot to change your business name. You got to obviously change the EIN number and obviously amend your LLC
Yeah.
paperwork. That's something that we really don't feel like doing that. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's the NAICS code that you definitely
Yeah.
want to change. We can have multiple NAICS codes as well. NAICS codes is definitely needed for federal contracts. That's something that you can put in your capability statement. Besides certifications and your DUNS number and your UEI number, that's definitely something that's needed. USAspending.gov is really your friend. You'll be able to actually see exactly what kind of what kind of things that contractors are looking for,
Mhm.
what your state actually spent money on, um, are preparing to spend money on. You'll be able to actually see. You can actually also see the type of certifications for other businesses as well. Again, I mentioned always the six general ones that the government offers, but if you actually go on USAspending.gov, you'll be able to see exactly how someone obtained a contract based on the certifications that they have. So they actually list that person's certification also. And you can then be able to track it. But again, you also need everything that I stated, which could be found on SAMS.gov, and you also need your DUNS number, which can be found on Dun and Bradstreet as well.
Gotcha. So then we have some takeaways here. The takeaways we have is, and I'll let you go ahead and read those because then you can elaborate on what you want to say with those today.
Yes. So the most straightforward government contract to win is a GSA contract. So the GSA contract is specifically designed for that contractor and yourself. Those are the easiest ones. Those are the ones that you'll be able to find on stamps.gov as well as SBA.gov also. To find contracts in city, state, and industry, you can visit usaspending.gov. I cannot express it enough. It is not a secret. You don't need to log in. You can just go to usaspending.gov and actually be able to see exactly where or what your city or your state is actually doing for small businesses. And then federal contracts can potentially make six figures. Yes, I cannot stress that also enough. One client, one contract can actually make you a six-figure business. You can have that one client just for the entire year, and then just be set for that year. Or you can have multiple six-figure clients, and it could be like three or four or five. And guess what? You've already a millionaire with those five contracts that you have, and you only have five clients that you have to pretty much satisfy. Less work that you have to pretty much do. But I cannot stress enough that the government is out there. Yes, we always talk about how the government is screwing us in some type of way, but there are times for small businesses or just business in general where they actually are able. We can actually utilize that government to our benefit. You just have to be in it to win it, and you have to plan to win, and then you'll be able to actually utilize the government to your advantage.
In it to win it. Love that. Yes. In it to win it. So there's so many resources, so many opportunities, so many things that take your business to the next level. So what I'm hearing, please get ready for the next one. I mean, this was amazing. We talked about federal contracts. So tune in. Part four, generational wealth. We're going to talk about business loans, and that's going to be on December the 4th. 2020. It's coming to an end, but we're going to make sure we fill it up with some more impactful information. Same usual time will be 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And the amazing generational wealth guru, Rosalind, will be back with us. And again, please go to www.psforplanning.com or email her at hello@psforplanning.com. And go check out her website with those amazing tools we talked about. And remember, they're not generic. The things she provides are customized to help you be successful. And so please, if you missed the other three, please go watch, or the other shows, please watch them and share them. Um, Thank you, Mr. Phelps. This says, keep up the great work, Sonia, on providing great information to your listening audience. It's my pleasure, because guess what? I'm learning too. So there's a whole nother, every show I have my homework that I do to make sure that I'm utilizing this information, not just hearing it, but using it, because I am determined to leave my family with generational wealth. And that what that means is, if they have an idea, they have a better opportunity of it being successful, because they have a seed to start it. And that's it, is a seed. So you showed us, Rosalind, all these seeds. And so now, guess what? We need to sow into these seeds and make them work, put some water on them.
Yes. Yes.
So the discount code is your voice abbreviated YV Wealth. Go ahead, check out those resources and get started. Give Rosalind a call and be on the road to generational wealth for you, your business, and your family. Check out that Business in the Box, customized for your business. So it's been a pleasure as always, Rosalind.
Yes, thank you for having me again.
And as we know, we've got a holiday coming up, and we're getting towards the end of the year, but let's make the most of this. The year is still here, guys. There's still so much you can do. I can't wait to get off of here and go to the website to see what contracts are out there, because that makes you start to get the little wheels turning. My little wheels have been turning like, ooh, what's out there that we can do?
Yes.
You never know. So I want to know, and I'm so appreciative that you took the time to give this information to us. And like Farrell said, time to plant the seeds. Let's plant them, let's water them, and let them start to come up in 2023 and see things happen. Businesses growing, because this is a time, they say there's a lack of jobs. You have to create jobs too. Create jobs for people, create jobs for your family. We can be that change. So let's do that. Yes. So thank you guys for tuning into another Your Voice Talk Show. We look forward to seeing you again on December the 4th, where we're going to talk about the fourth part of the series of generational wealth. We're going to talk about business loans. That's correct, right? Business loans. So tune in, and we look forward to seeing you then. And please come back and be a part of the conversation, because your comments and questions are very important to us. This is an interactive platform, so we want to make sure that your voice is heard on Your Voice Talk Show. Have a great evening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yes.